Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the PapaPC play-along for Minecraft 1.15. I'd like to welcome everybody back and hope that you've all been having a great time. It's nearly Christmas time upon us, so we'll have to see how the recording schedule goes, but I'm going to keep trying to do it over the break time if we can. I just wanted to kind of catch you guys up on where we're at. While I was offline, or while the recordings were offline, I did take a little bit of time to do a little bit of basic building. As you can see, I put together a little basic starter house, nothing fancy. I just kind of threw something together. We will do more with this definitely in the coming episodes. This is just a real simple starter house. I just wanted to put something so that I had a bed at night and to get me started. You'll also see that back behind me over on this side, I threw a little quick animal pen together. I grabbed myself some sheep that were wandering around the neighborhood and kind of just got a little bit of something started there. My intent there is to try to gather some wool, get a few things, and if need be, even start using it for some food. And then you'll see kind of back behind me on this side, there is a sweet berry farm. We got that going, so we'll have some basic berries for food. They're a real quick, easy starter food for the game, but they're not something you're going to necessarily go with long term, but they will get you through. Then I guess it is almost nighttime. Sun's going down over there. I'm going to get in the little house. I'll give you a quick tour. Put in some windows. I still have a dirt floor. I didn't even take care of much more beyond that. Just some cobblestone and some wood. I ran out of cobblestone for a little while, so I actually threw up some granite. Let's go ahead and get that sleep before anything spawns on us. And then I did throw together a couple chests. And I did spend probably about a half an hour in the mines, just kind of gathering up a few things. So hence, I grabbed a bunch of materials, a little bit of cobblestone, a couple pieces of gravel, some andesite, some granite, and some diorite. The verdict's out on diorite. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's just another material. I'll use it if I got it. When it's polished up, I don't mind it. It actually kind of looks decent. And with some of the shaders that are coming out, it looks actually pretty nice. As far as shaders goes, right now, Optifine, I think I looked today, and it's around 15% ready for 1.15, so it's going to be a little bit yet before we can get some of the shaders involved and kind of make things look a little bit prettier, but they are working hard on it, I think it's really one person going on it, but really, it's plowing along pretty nice and pretty fast. The other big one that we were waiting for was the replay mod, and from the sound of it, it may not be coming. It may actually be a dead project. I think there's a lot of pressure from everybody to, for the developer to kind of keep going with it. We'll have to see how it goes. Otherwise, I may have to come up with a few different ways if we want to try to do any cinematics and kind of look around and see how things are going, from that perspective. But we'll deal with that when the time comes. May use a camera account or something else like that, but more about that in the future. I also did gather a little bit of wood, not a ton. I got a little bit of spruce, some oak, and some birch. Those were the ones that were in the neighborhood, and those were the trees that were convenient. Not a ton, but like I said, a little bit enough to get me kind of going, kind of started. And in case you didn't notice it before at the beginning, I am also decked out in a full suit of armor, all iron, and I actually still have 25 left. So I was actually going down, like I said, when I was doing a little bit of mining, it was fairly productive. I'll show you a little bit of where I am with that. There were some nice little cave systems right near my house that I'm just kind of venturing down into and using them as a starting point. Nothing too fancy, too big. I did find that there's a lava flow over there. I might be harvesting that a little bit later on for some usage. But really, all I wanted to do was just kind of get down in here. Oops, wrong way. And get going. And really, that's about what I did from a mining perspective. Bigger than I normally would do from a width, but I liked the height. I like to try to keep it a little bit more, especially if I have to put stairs on it. But mostly I did it that width just to kind of give myself some space and hope I can get a few other things. Kind of blocked off a few areas over here. There was some bad guys running around over there. I just kind of blocked it off so I wouldn't have to worry about them. Otherwise, the only other thing I did right now, we'll go back around the other side. Over by the water over here, I did spend a little bit of time kind of getting things going. I am still playing with yet another keyboard. I'm trying to find a new one to replace the one I had from 3 episodes ago. I didn't like it. It's too clicky, and I have not found a good one I like yet. So if you do have a one you really love, one that's quiet, well, bees are going to town over here. Definitely going to be coming back for that. If you do have a keyboard that you really love and one that you've been very happy with, let me know. Share it with me, and I'll be happy to take a look. You never know. I'm kind of desperate for one myself. So what I do have is just a little bit of a simple farm started over here. I got some water hidden underneath the plank, the waterlogged slab there. But just kind of going around and kind of getting a few things started. I made a little bit of room so I can expand it a little bit more. I did see once already when I came near the village some pillagers near the village, so I've been avoiding it just to make sure that I don't accidentally kill something and trigger a raid. That would make me very unhappy. So the villagers are still there. They are still going to, crazy over there. So that's great. I'm going to leave them alone still. I don't really have a whole lot I can do with them. I don't have enough crops working to do a whole lot there. And I don't really have much from a trading perspective that they would be able to do. I started doing quite a bit with the sugar cane along the edge over there. So I do have a fair amount there that I could turn into paper if there would happen to be a librarian. Oh, we got ourselves a wandering trader. Let's see what he's got. I don't really have any emeralds, but dyes, corals, dyes, tropical fish, nothing great. Avoid these guys if you can. The last thing you want to do is accidentally hit one of them because they're nasty. They spit, and it's pretty, well, it's pretty gross, but it also is pretty damaging, and it does seem to hurt quite a bit. For the sweet berries, like I said, if you happen to find one, they're great because you can harvest them without actually having to replant. So all I do is basically just do that, and then I like to put them down one because if you get too close, that exact thing happens. You end up taking a little bit of damage, and I didn't want that. Hey, I got a lead from I got a lead from the wandering traveler. I think that was an accident, but I'm going to take it because that's going to come in super handy later on. Let me just throw that in the chest before I lose it. Throw my extra sweet berries in there too. I do still have some steak, so I've been using that, although I think I'm going to switch to the sweet berries for now just because it save the steak. I switched to an iron sword as well. I got myself an iron axe, although I've already almost worn that out with the amount of digging I've been doing. What I was thinking for today is what I would love to be able to do is maybe even set up a little fishing farm, a little AFK fishing farm would be awesome. Something that I could really kind of have just run while I'm just sitting around. They've been very productive, and they seem to really produce quite a bit of good results. What I'm going to probably do here is just make a real basic fishing rod and do some manual fishing to kind of get it going and see what we can do, from that perspective, and see if we can get anything basics. Because usually what happens is you'll fish up a better fishing rod than you're going to make anyway. Just seems like that's typically what happens. So fishing rod recipe, just throw that in there, and then I'll probably just run over to any water really will do. I could even use one of these little ponds here. I'm going to cover a few of these little holes up just because I don't want to fall in them. I did have a little bit of one oopsie already where I fell in with the mines when I was digging around out there. I happened to plant a torch down, and I wasn't really paying attention to the fact that I was actually on gravel. And when you're on gravel, and if you update the block in any way, putting something next to it, digging one up, putting a torch on it, and if there's any floating gravel, it will make it fall. And that's exactly what happened. I happened to get lucky. I was standing on top of it, and it all fell underneath me, and it fell down into a fairly deep ravine. But there was lots of water, and I got lucky and landed in that, so I didn't die. There were some zombies around. I didn't get it on camera, of course. But really, I was able to just throw a torch up and swim away and then kill them while they were sitting in the water. So it wasn't too big of a deal. Getting the fish here. Pufferfish, that'll come in later for a brewing stand. That'll come in really handy. But really, the what I'm kind of trying to go over here is less for the fish, although they are handy and they will come in quite useful later. It was more of just trying to get in there and get myself maybe another fishing rod, books, any of that kind of stuff. I don't really have anything from a diamonds perspective or anything like that. I'm going to have to do that as well. My intent is to try to do some of that. I'd like to do some time lapse, but without that replay mod or without the ability to really do the camera account, it's not quite that easy anymore. So what I might just do is do it offline, and then maybe when I do find the diamonds, turn back on and start recording from that point, just to kind of give a little bit of an idea of you know, where they are and how they are. Ideally, I'll be able to get that within the next episode here, and we can start expanding a little bit more beyond that and try to go beyond just the basics of the tools here in building. What I'd like to start doing is really kind of looking at ways we can build beyond just basic Minecraft survival. Maybe start building ourselves some different automations, some different farms, kind of get ourselves maybe even a villager farm, where we can kind of have them and get them all locked into it, you know, with the different professions and the different trades, so that we can kind of have them at our disposal when we need. That's going to be probably quite a few episodes off yet, but just those are some of the things that I want to try to start looking at and start thinking about, and how we want to be able to handle those and how we want to be able to do those with those pieces. For today, really, I'm going to just try to get the house maybe cleaned up a little bit. I want to kind of look around and see how we want to try to lay some of this stuff out from a terraforming perspective and start building our own little mini village of our own over here. It is a little bit left daylight, not much, and then we'll head back and sleep for the night. And then I also want to maybe go run over and take a peek at the skeleton spawner and start talking about some of the different ways that we could utilize that to build ourselves an XP farm, because that's going to quickly become a bit of a thing. When as soon as we get to the point where we can start enchanting, XP is going to become a critical thing, and really the enchantment table is one of the first things that I like to build when I get to the point of diamonds in the game, just because they are the enchantments are really what makes or breaks it for everything. Okay, it's getting dark enough at night now. I'm going to head back to the house, get some sleep on, and make it till morning. Ideally, I like to sleep as soon as it gets dark enough to do that, simply because otherwise the monsters have a chance to spawn. If you do it right away, they don't have a chance to spawn, and they never really come out. And that's what I target. We'll take a look quick here, see what we ended up getting out of that. Nautilus shell, that'll come in handy later. We'll explain that when we get to the point of doing some ocean exploration and some maybe some guardian temples, things like that as well. Pufferfish, again, that's going to be great for when we get to brewing potions. It's not going to be real useful until then. And honestly, I'm not sure if it has... I'd have to look. I don't know if it has any other uses besides that. I don't think so. It could, but I'll have to look. And otherwise, the only other thing we had there was a couple fish. So I'm going to throw all that stuff into my, what I'll call my junk cart for now. Food and all that kind of stuff is just sitting there. I am going to leave behind my fishing rod, and I got more sticks than I need. I'm going to leave that stuff behind, and I'm going to actually go grab some cobblestone and take a look. I want to secure the zombie spawner a little bit better. That should be enough, I would think. It was all the way on the other side of the village, so got a little bit of a hike here. While we're going over there, I'm going to actually talk about a little bit what I want to do. So I'm thinking about from here down, I'm going to make some paths across here. Maybe some little roads sort of to follow across, decorating them as I go. I'm kind of leading from my house into the village house, so it seems like it's part of a larger community. Just because I think, you know, similar to this, kind of basically taking these paths and these roads and expanding them all the way over to there. Go see what that villager has. I'm hearing a skeleton rattling over there somewhere. Wonder where he's caught. Hey, what do you have, Mr. Fletcher? Sticks for an emerald. You know, I'm actually going to take this because I want to lock him in. Sticks are a great resource to be able to trade because, well, you have an almost unlimited supply of them. And they're super handy. Boy, he does have a lot of hay over here. I am going to snag a few more things of this because it really doesn't serve much purpose here for them. And it's definitely something I'm going to be able to use from a bread perspective. I might be able to even get lucky here and find a villager that's willing to trade for wheat. That would be super awesome. I don't want to take it all because I like to leave a little bit from an aesthetics perspective. Let's go see what this villager had. He had, oh, I'm going to lock him in as well because that's actually a very cheap price. And coal, being what it is fairly easy to find. I am going to lock him in because I do not want him damaged or hurt. And it was too convenient since he was already in there. Let's see what Mr. Farmer over here has. If he has, oh, we got carrots and stuff. I'm definitely going to be stealing some of those. This is a prime example. So he does that. So I'm going to go ahead and convert a lot of this right back into hay, and then I'm going to go ahead and lock him in with that as well because 20 is pretty cheap. I don't really need to do a ton of it. I just really wanted to see what else we can do with him at a later point. I'd love to lock him into a house as well and see what we have going on there. I did lock in. I thought I locked in. I'm going to actually take a peek and make sure that he's still in there because I didn't see him. Oh, he is. Although he lost his, he doesn't have a profession. So that might be something I do, is get him. Although I'm going to probably steal a bunch of these guys at some point and try to lock them in a little bit better. We got carrots, more wheat. That's awesome. Okay. Let me get some. I did turn off auto jump. I gave it a whirl, I tried, and I can't take it anymore. Auto jump was just driving me insane. I gotta clean this up and make this nicer so it's easier to get into. I'm gonna see about planting a couple more torches over in that side as well, just so I can kind of see what's over there. But let's go check out that spawner again. Yep, they are there. I'm going to have to figure out a good way of getting in there and killing them, and kind of locking this in and locking it down so that they can't get me. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. That's the exact way I didn't want to do it. Yeah. Draw him maybe over here. Ow, that one hurt. Yeah, there's still one more in there. If I can time it right, if I was hoping to maybe get the last one, run in there and put some, no, I'm not getting it through enough. Okay, that should work. I think I've got him locked in. It never hurts to put as many around it as you can. Definitely light it up high enough. This is actually some pretty good stuff. We got some great amounts of strings, redstone, yes. Name tags, if we want to lock in any more of those guys, that would be great. Any of the villagers, lock them in without having to do trades. Rotten flash. We got beetroot seeds, that'll come in handy. Another name tags, coal or gunpowder, that'll come in handy later as well. Now, from a XP farm perspective, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Typically, what I end up doing is usually just clearing out 4 on each direction from the spawner, and then down 3 from the spawner. So that way, when one spawns, they all fall, they hit the water, and they can put water down and have it all flowing into one direction, and that will let us really funnel them all into a single point in a single location. And then from there, what we can do is take them and have them all come into a single killing spot where we can get them, but they can't get us. I will probably try to do that on camera. I don't know if I'll do that next time, or this, maybe even this time. It's already kind of getting into this one quite a ways, so I'll probably end up doing that next time. But that would be, something I would like to try to do, is kind of build that, just because, like I said, the XP is really going to be a neat thing, and having the skeleton spawn is going to be great, because one of the first things I'm going to end up doing is getting myself a bow, and once you get a bow, you need arrows, and for arrows, that means you're going to need either infinity on your bow or a steady supply. And if I can have a steady supply of arrows, I would almost rather do that and then just use mending on my bow, and then just kind of try to really deck it out with everything else. And as long as I have a stack of arrows on me, whether it's one arrow with the infinity enchantment or a stack of arrows, it doesn't make much difference. Do I have seeds? I wonder, I don't know if they'll follow me with beetroot seeds or not. Never mind, he already fell down there. But I was going to maybe try to capture a chicken or two. Let's see, what did he have again? Anything that I really want? No, I have a couple emeralds on me. Dyes, not really. Hey, the chicken is following me. Let's see if I can get him over to the pen, and lock him into the pen. I lost him. In the water. You know what? Forget it. I'll worry about him tomorrow. I'd rather get back to the house for the night, eat, and sleep. Get my food set back up. Eat myself a few more of these berries, and get myself the food going. And then, oh, I didn't want to do that. That's the downfall of the berries. Just sometimes they like to activate when you try to put them down instead of, well, getting eaten. So really, what I want to be looking for from you guys, if you can, is if you have any ideas, like I said on the keyboard, post it out there. If you have any specifics on what you'd like me to do with this house, I could do some with changing, stripping the wood a little bit, and changing some of the way that some of those pieces look. Maybe doing a little bit more. I'm going to get rid of the cobblestone and all the granites. Maybe do some polish, things like that. I'm thinking actually about doing an andesite floor. I kind of think that doesn't look too bad when you do that. You can kind of go ahead and put some of this other stuff away, some of the other stone away. But I think if you do the polished andesite, or diorite, excuse me, it doesn't look too bad. And if you actually take it and use it in a floor scenario, let me put it in my inventory to show you guys, as a floor block, it kind of has a marble-ish look, that you get it in, things. I don't mind that. I think it kind of looks decent. It kind of looks nice. So I may end up doing just a diorite floor in here, or and then maybe using andesite or even the granite for the rest of it. Let me know your thoughts, again, on what you think I should do there. Again, it's just a starter house. We'll build a much bigger house, maybe in this location or right next to it, and maybe convert this one into a barn or a storage room, something like that. But let me know your thoughts on that. And then I am going to probably do offline, like I said, a little bit of fishing, maybe a little bit more gathering, and really kind of get going with that. And I might try to dig that mine a little bit deeper and start getting us down closer to the point where we can get some diamonds, see what we can do there. But really, for today, I think it was securing that that spawner, getting ourselves a little bit more set up, around the fields, talking about a little bit what we're going to do, and setting ourselves up for some AFK fishing. I will show the AFK fish farm once I build it, but really I'm going to have to spend a fair amount of time just regular fishing first, and nobody really wants to sit and watch that. I am going to steal some of my iron, though. I need a couple pieces. I'm actually going to put my gunpowder and stuff in there too, in my just because I think I'm going to go and shear all the sheep right away. I will build an automated sheep shearing machine. I've actually been looking that up quite a bit and found some pretty neat setups, some pretty good ones. And I'm also going to probably be doing some harvesting some more wood, some more trees. I'd like to get a few of the leaves, and I might try to head over to the jungle here and see what else we can find there. Sheep are a wonderful thing in that you can, get quite a bit from them fairly quickly too. As things progress along, as long as you keep them supplied with grass, they will keep growing right back, almost as fast as you can shear them. And I will probably do a little bit more. I need to go get a little shovel and maybe see about setting ourselves up a pathway to the village from here, just so we have it for reference purposes. I'll probably just do a little stone one, but of course I just took all my stone, so I guess wood will have to do. Little shovel, and see what we can do for ourselves from a path perspective. Nothing, I don't want it too straight. We'll probably do a little bit more with maybe mixing in some coarse dirt and some other things along the way. Wow, this figures out that shovel fast. I forgot how bad this stuff was with the shovels, and really just kind of destroying them quick. But again, you don't need to watch me do this whole thing. It's really nothing too exciting or too fancy. I just want to kind of get this path going, and I'm going to kind of weave it around and that way over to the village. We'll see how it goes and see what we can do from that perspective. But I think it just makes it look a little bit nicer. And I might mix in some slabs, things like that, because jumping everywhere all the time, all the way up the hills, it gets a little bit annoying. Oh, I did build myself a stone cutter. Absolutely highly recommend it, because when you're doing things with anything with stone, you can get a 1-to-1 ratio out of it. If you want to make stairs, throwing diorite, I can get stairs out of it without any problem. I can get the variants as well, but I mean, it doesn't eat, I think, 6. You did use 6 of them before to get stairs out of it. Here I can do it with just 1. I don't have to get large quantities, and that's super nice. But I will have to see about kind of getting myself some arrow, maybe getting myself a bow now that I have a bunch of string as well. We'll get all this stuff put away. I do have some arrows on me now, but I'm going to have to do a little bit more with that. Putting away the extra wheat. The name tags are definitely going to come in handy later. The hay bales, lots of wool. Everything else will keep on me. The wool can go up in there, and then we will see what we can do from there. So really, for now, I really just wanted to say thank you guys. I appreciate everything, you guys coming. I hope you guys are having fun with me as well. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think we're going to be able to do a lot with this village over here and a lot with this house along the way. And I really would love to have a few guys come online, play with me. the intent is to maybe kind of build a community and have everybody kind of join in and have a little bit of fun. And until next episode, I wish you guys all a wonderful Minecraft experience, and I hope you have as much fun as I do. Thanks, and have a great day.